Let's look at an example for distance and midpoint. So the distance and midpoint we are going to use with these 2 points. So it says find the distance and midpoint for the 2 points, -1, 3, and 5, -2. So both of these formulas require that you have these 2 points labeled. So let's do that first. X1 is going to be -1, Y1 will be 3, X2 is 5, and Y2 is -2. First, our distance formula is listed up here. So let's use that and plug in. So we've got the square root of this really long expression. This is going to be x2. Notice we have parentheses here. X2, which is going to be 5, minus from the formula x1, which is -1. So make sure you put parentheses around that -1, close off that set of parentheses, and square it. Plus y2, parentheses y2, which is -2, minus from the formula y1, which is 3. Close off the parentheses and square it. You may notice that this looks a little similar to like the circle format that we did in a previous problem. You can go back and watch that video. And that's because it is. So notice you've got x's squared and then y's squared, but what you have in the middle is a plus. Okay, so you're subtracting, but in the middle is a plus sign. Okay, all right, let's simplify this. So sometimes it simplifies great and sometimes it does not. So it's just a matter of the number. So let's simplify this a little bit. We have 5. 2 negatives make a +1 squared plus -2 minus 3 is -5 squared. Simplifying more. 5 plus 1 is, this is really 6. So 6 squared is 36. -5 all squared is 25. So this is going to be the square root of 36 plus 25, and that is 61. Now, if it asks for an exact answer, that's your answer with the radical. So you would say square root of 61, that's the answer. However, if it wants an approximation, you are actually going to put that in the calculator and get a decimal. So the approximate value is going to be 7.81, and then just round to whatever it says. So if it says 2 decimals, do that, 3, whatever. Round to whatever. So approximate is the decimal, exact is the radical. Now if it simplifies, let's say you did all that and you got the square root of 100, obviously that's 10, so there's no need to leave the radical on if it completely simplifies and the number underneath is a perfect square, okay? All right, so that's distance. Distance is the distance between 2 points. So we just found out that distance is 7.81 units. The other thing we want to find is the midpoint. So we've got these 2 points. We want to find the middle of those 2 points. So this is going to be this formula. Notice that the midpoint is a point. So this is the point. Add the 2 x's, divide by 2. Add the 2 y's, divide by 2. This is basically average the x, average the y's. So x1 is -1 plus x2 is 5, divide by 2. y1 is 3 plus y2 is -2, divide by 2. It really doesn't matter the order of what you're putting in the top. You basically are just adding the x value. So if you want to do x2 plus x1, that's fine. And y2 plus y1, that's fine. Whatever helps you remember. So -1 plus 5 is 4, divide by 2. 3 plus -2 is 1, divide by 2. And let's simplify just a little bit more. 4 over 2 is 2. And 1/2. So you can have fractions in this, that's fine, but this is basically saying that is the point that's in between. This is often used for circles because they may say, hey, there's 2 points lying on the outside of the circle, this point and this point. Find the equation of the circle. So what do you need for an equation of the circle? You need the center and the radius. So you could find the center by doing the midpoint between these 2 points, and then you can find the radius by doing the distance between the midpoint and one of the points, or finding the distance of the whole thing and dividing by 2. So there's a few different applications to these two formulas. That is just one simple example, but really important example when we're referring to circles.